on him!
Welcome to Fish North Georgia's The Guide. Here's Shane Dover.
Hey guys, this is Shane Dover here with Fish North Georgia The Guide. I wanted to do a little how-to video on how I tie my leader, like from my braided line to my fluorocarbon, the knot that I use for my leader to line. I'll turn the camera down here so you can kind of see a little bit. You have to excuse me, I've had oral surgery, so I talk funnier than I normally do, but we're going to try to get through this. Just bear with me. Okay, so what I do is I take my braided line, and the knot that I use is called the Alberto knot. I take my fluorocarbon, which in this case I'm using Sunline FC Sniper 20-pound fluorocarbon. I like to use 20-pound because it's a little more abrasion resistant. And this is on my jig rod setup, which my jig rod setup I'm using has got a Lew's Mach 7.5-to-1 speed spool reel. You can see right there. And the rod I use is a Duckett Silverado 7-foot medium heavy with a fast action tip. That's what I use for my jig rod setup. And I have 50-pound, I believe this is 50-pound Power Pro braid, and I leave myself about, if you can see on the camera, I leave myself about that much room on the spool. I spool it up with a good bit of braid, but I leave myself, I don't know, maybe a 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch roughly, a space before I'm at full spool for my fluorocarbon to be on there. Because I don't spool straight fluorocarbon, some guys do, but that can get expensive really quick. So I prefer to use a leader, and this is the knot I use. So I got my fluorocarbon, and I make me a loop. Now there's a whole bunch of different knots out there that people tie, and this is just my personal preference. I've used this knot for years, and I've never had any issues with it. It's very strong. It goes through micro guides real easy because it's a small knot when it's tied correctly. I've never had it slip, never had it break. It's been the best knot that I've personally have found to use on my line to leader. So I make this loop in my fluorocarbon. I just take a piece of it and just fold it over and make yourself a loop. Kind of make you a small loop like that right there. Then I take my braid off of my rod, my piece of braid here, and I stick it straight up through the bottom of that loop. I pull me up some slack on my braid. I don't need a whole lot, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it 7 times. Depending on the size of the fluorocarbon and the braided line kind of determines how many wraps you make. I found that 7 is the best scenario for me. So I always wrap it 7 times. So what I do is once I stick my braid up through my loop that I made in my fluorocarbon, I go around 7 times. So there's 1, 2, 3, and I'm wrapping it around both pieces. 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, once I get my 7th done, then I'm going to come right here and I'm going to kind of pinch where it ended at, and I can let go of this part. I don't need to hold that no more. And now I'm just going to go backwards, overlap, go backwards across 7 times back down towards the loop. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now here's the important part with this knot. You see how we started? We come up through this loop with our braid. What we're going to do is we're going to go back down through the loop with the tag end of the braid. So what you want to make sure is that your braid is going through the same way. You don't want one going up, one going down. You want them going the same way. So after we got that, we're going to hold on to our tag end of our braid and our tag ends and our main line of our fluorocarbon, and we're going to wet this just a little bit. Once we get it wet, we can take the main line of our braid and we just snug it tight. And you see how those loops, they cross one another and they tighten up. And we got a really small knot. Now we can let go of our tag end of our fluoro and we can pull it just a little bit harder, and that's it. She's done. It's not going to slip. It's really small. If you can see that, it's real small. It'll go through those micro guides real easy. And now all we have left to do is just trim up our tag ends, and we can trim them really close. Because we don't, like I say, we don't have to worry about this not slipping or breaking. We can trim our tag ends really close, trim our braid right there, trim our fluorocarbon. Now the thing with the fluorocarbon is you want to make sure that you don't scar the line, your main line, because that would cause a weak spot in it. You know, fluorocarbon is easy to get a weak spot if you scuff it. But that's it. That's our knot. It's really small, really strong. It's not going to break. It's the one I use. I'll use it. One reason I use it is because it's quick, fast. I can do it in windy conditions, like if I'm fishing a tournament or just out fishing for fun, and I need to tie on a new piece of leader because that piece is just all chewed up or whatever the case may be. Then I can tie this on real quick, right in the boat. Doesn't matter if it's windy. Doesn't take me very long at all, and it's done. I mean, there's other knots like a FG knot, the uni to uni knot, blood knot. There's a lot of different ones, but in my experience, a lot of those are really hard to tie, and takes a whole lot of concentration and almost perfect conditions to get them right. And so that's why I choose the Alberto knot. Hopefully this video will help you to tie it. If you have any questions about how to tie it, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube and whatnot that shows probably a little better quality than this one. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned to Fish North Georgia. Got a lot of things coming in the future here real soon. This is going to be really great. Check out their website at fishnorthgeorgia.com. And I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the guide here at Fish North Georgia. Our mission is to build a community of anglers to give you the best and latest information to make your day on the water more successful. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you'll be notified of any future content. Make sure you check us out at fishnorthgeorgia.com, where we carry a large variety of bait manufacturers from here in the North Georgia area. So we appreciate you being part of our community, and we'll see you soon.